Here we go. Now here is a banger. Houbigant Bois Mystique. I don't even know if that's how you say it. Is it Houbigant or Houbigant? I don't know, it's French. Is it Bois or is it Bois? I'm gonna say Bois. This is a warm, spicy, just like woody fragrance, and it has like smoky incense undertones, a little bit leathery. This stuff is absolutely fantastic.
The notes in Houbigant Bois Mystique are cardamom, pink pepper, ginger neroli, animatia, bergamot, incense, cypress, olive, nectar, cinnamon, black pepper, iris, myrrh, gaiac wood, cashmere, amber, and musk.
Although sadly, like with most fragrances, there is one glaring issue with this fragrance, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. And if you're not familiar with Houbigant, it is a very old perfume house, dating from the 1700s. They're known for making very high quality, very nice, well-blended fragrances, and Bois Mystique is no different. And they were founded by Jean-Francois Houbigant back in the 1700s. That dude probably got all the chicks, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, sexy bitches, did you miss me? Your boy Gunther back.
All right, let's do some sprays of this bad boy, see what we have good here. Oh, woohoo, nice atomizer. Right off the top, I get a very spicy, citrusy ginger type smell. This is definitely a spicy fragrance. You get slapped in the face with the ginger and with the bergamot, I believe it is. It almost smells a little lemony, maybe orangey, I don't know. It's probably bergamot. The citruses really come through. So spicy, citrus, ginger, and then what do you get hit with? You get hit with the slightly boozy aftertones in the opening. And almost, you know what? It almost smells a little bit, almost kind of similar to like black licorice. It's not quite there, but kind of just that like vibe a little bit. So citrusy, spicy, you get a little bit of that boozy black licorice note. It's really good. Now, as this fragrance starts to dry down, you get this like incense note that comes out. Now, it's not overpowering, and if you didn't know this, I don't like incense fragrances, really at all. But this one has a mild smokiness to it, and it's very pleasant. It's not overdone. It's pleasant. It's not too strong, it's well blended, and it's very nice, but the far dry down, I'm talking way after, when this really starts to dry down, that's when the star of the show starts to appear, and that is the gaiac wood. This is a very dry, woody fragrance. As this starts to dry down, that gaiac wood starts to take the front seat, and you get these like leathery undertones with this fragrance, and I really enjoy it. Honestly, let's just say this right off, this is a masterpiece fragrance. So once again, up top, first blast, it's very spicy. You get hit with a little bit of ginger, a little bit of bergamot. You get this incense note that starts to linger through this fragrance, slight boozy touches. It's very, very elegant, almost a licorice-like vibe. If you don't like black licorice, that's not enough to turn you off. It doesn't smell like that. I don't know what it is. It almost smells like if you mix this fragrance and did like a little dribble of a little bit of Jägermeister mixed in with here. That's kind of like the vibe I get. So it's more herbal than it is black licorice, but that's mixed in here a little bit to my nose. And then as it starts to dry down, it gets very dry gaiac wood. You get very luxurious leathery undertones, and that incense, that smokiness just kind of starts enveloping you. It's not overpowering, it's not like a burning building, but you definitely get wasps of that incense vibe in this. Yeah, that's it, turn the video off. So what's the overall vibe of this? So the vibe of this fragrance, like say you're at a super luxurious rich person outdoor party, right? And you're outside and you're all dressed up and the sun's starting to go down, the sun is setting, it's just beautiful out there, and they have these huge, crazy fire pits lit, made of like stone with fountains everywhere. That's kind of the vibe that this fragrance gives you. Oh, and by the way, that is like in the 1700s, not in the modern times. What's the one glaring issue with this fragrance? Well, honestly, it is the performance for me. The projection and the longevity it's just lacking a little bit. It's definitely moderate, but I'm gonna say like 4-ish hours for the longevity. It almost turns into a softer skin type smell. Now, I don't know if that's just because this is my bottle. It is a little bit newer. I might have to let this sit or macerate a little bit. I did hear that there is a new extrait de parfum version of this. So, I'll check that out. Maybe that will fix the longevity and the projection issues that this has, at least my bottle anyway. I would like this to project and just be a little bit more beast mode. If this was beast mode, I would give it an 11 out of 10.
I'm not gonna lie, this Houbigant Mystique shit, this stuff will get you chick, boy. Chicks.
Now, yeah, that's good, right? That all sounds great, but you might be asking yourself still, with all that, what does this smell like? Well, Let's compare this. This is most awfully compared to a very famous fragrance that happens to be my favorite of all time, and that is Creed's Royal Oud. So if you are familiar with Creed's Royal Oud, then this smells very similar to that. But let's dive in a little bit deeper. Let's discuss these. Let's compare these two, and I want to talk about which one I think is better. Bois Mystique by Houbigant or Creed Royal Oud. Let's start off with my Creed Royal Oud. I'm gonna say this again. This is probably one of my favorite fragrances of all time. You know what, I'm gonna do a spray. We'll do it on the other arm here. We'll do 2 good sprays. The atomizer of this is absolutely amazing. And you know what, for all you frag heads, for the serious guys, this is the 2016 batch. I'll give you the batch code too. Hold on one second. It is 64316F01. You know what? Let's spray Bois Mystique on the other one just to compare right off here. So 2 more of that. Oh man, it smells amazing in here. So Royal Oud's on this arm, Bois Mystique's on this arm. Okay, so right off, Bois Mystique is a little more complex, but it's way darker and definitely has that incense note. Royal Oud is very bright, fresh, and lively, has that insane cedar note that's absolutely amazing. I think it has the best cedar note in the fragrance game, it really does. But there is a little bit of an oudiness with Royal Oud. It's not too clever from its name, Royal Oud, that gives it almost like a very mild, like barnyard smell. Not barnyard, almost like horse poop. You ever smelled horse poop? Take a sprinkle of horse poop and put it in here. Now, I don't smell it on its own. I only smell that when comparing it with Bois Mystique because they're a little bit different. So let's quickly summon up Royal Oud. Super amazing cedar note, probably the best in the fragrance game. It has very bitter greens, which is one of the key differences. Heavy greens in this one. There's Angelica in here, which smells amazing. Galbanum, which smells amazing. It's also very spicy, very similar, and it's a very dry wood in here. And you know what, overall, it's just very comforting and elegant, but it does have those slightly oudy animalic undertones when we compare it to Bois Mystique. Now, another smell here of Bois. So Bois is also very dry and woody. It has heavy spices. It's a little bit more spicier, but it has that smoky incense note. And overall, this one is very, very elegant, and it has the leather undertones where Royal Oud does not have the leather undertones. And let's talk about why. Royal Oud is based off of the cedar note, right? So it has that heavy, fresh cedar vibe. This has Gaiac wood. Now the Gaiac wood has that like leathery type smell to it. That's like the key differences. They're both dry fragrances. They're both spicy fragrances. This one's a little bit spicier. I would say this one's a little bit fresher. This is darker. This has the leathery notes. This has a little bit of the animalic oud vibe to it. But overall, they're both absolutely fantastic masterpieces. Check this out, baby. You like that? You like that? 2 sprays right to the chest. I'm coming. Yeah. So Bois Mystique is more mysterious. It's a little bit darker and more incense forward, while Royal Oud is just like a little bit fresher, a little bit more lively, and more cedarwood forward. Let's get on to the price, shall we? Because I mean, let's be honest, it's a very important factor when deciding on which one of these you want to try to sample or buy. Now Bois Mystique, the OG, this one comes in at about $210 for the 100 ml. And you know what? It's a little bit easier to find. But the projection and the longevity are better on Royal Oud. That being said, Royal Oud, the 100 ml equivalent in size, this is the 75 by the way, because it's an older batch, but the 100 ml comes in retail at a whopping $570. So we have $210, $570. That being said, if you look on discounters, you could probably find this one from like the $250 to $300 range. So $210 to $250, $300 range. This one has better performance and longevity than this does. So I think the price is justified. So we'll just say, for the sake of argument and saying it, that the prices are roughly the same for both of these. So what does that mean? If the prices are the same, the smells are a little bit different, my Creed Royal Oud projects way better than the Bois Mystique. It just really does. The longevity, the projection, the performance is way better. But since this is a newer bottle, I may have to have it macerate and sit a little bit longer. We'll check that out. So my Royal Oud just projects better, the longevity is better, it's a little bit brighter, the cedar notes there, it's just a very amazing fragrance. It's an 11 out of 10 any day of the week. But the Bois Mystique by Houbigant is a little bit softer, it's not as loud, it's a little bit darker, it has that smoky incense note to it, and I would say honestly, this is also an 11 out of 10 every day of the week. You know what, 10 out of 10 because of the performance issues, but hopefully a little bit of maceration will fix that. And not everybody wants a beast mode loud fragrance. If you want something a little closer to skin, like hug distance, this one's amazing. How close do these smell together? So let's put it this way. If you just have one of them and you spray it, you definitely in the opening get the reminiscence of the other one. So if you just spray Royal Oud, you're like, oh, that smells like Bois Mystique. If you just spray Bois Mystique, then you say, wow, I can definitely see Royal Oud. It's when you actually compare them side by side that you actually start to notice the differences. To me, Bois Mystique, it's almost like if you took Royal Oud and like you put a blanket over it a little bit and just kind of like muddled it down, made it a little bit darker, added some incense to it, and then you set that blanket on fire, and that's kind of what this smells like compared to Royal Oud. Both of these fragrances are completely versatile. I mean, they can be worn year-round in any situation. They're just that good. If I had to be super picky, I would have to say Royal Oud is more for my day wear, while Bois Mystique would be my night wear. But I mean, they definitely complement each other. They go hand in hand, honestly. I mean, this whole review comparison was almost like ridiculous. I mean, this is the battle of the giants. They're like yin and yang. I mean, they really are. These are both masterpiece fragrances in their own right. And owning one over the other, to me, doesn't seem redundant. I think they smell different enough where you can have both of them and it's not the same vibe. Like I said, this is more incense forward. This is more cedarwood forward. This has the leathery nuances. This does not. This has the angelica and the galbanum mixed with the cedar notes. Well, I don't know. You know, it's a really hard choice. I mean, overall, my nose to what I personally like the smell of better, I'm gonna have to take my favorite, Royal Oud. I just feel like it edges it out just a little bit. The cedarwood in this, like I said, is one of the best of all time, mixed with the angelica and the galbanum. It just smells so good. But you know what? At nighttime, if I'm feeling a little bit more mysterious, I reach from that Bois Mystique. I want that smoky incense vibe and that leathery undertones to come through. Such a regal fragrance, so elegant, so classic with a modern twist. It's absolutely amazing. My gripe was the, performance issue. I'm gonna check out the Extrait de Parfum, the stronger version of this. But yeah, hopefully that Extrait de Parfum is a beast. I don't know, and maybe it will take the crown from Royal Oud. I guess we'll see. Oh, we'll see, buddy. We'll see. Am I coming in clear? Hey, Dad, I said if I'm coming in clear.